Hello everyone, welcome to our JavaScript course. Today we will explore the building blocks of JavaScript programming, the data types and variables. For this course, I will be using the VS Code as a code editor and Node.js to run the JavaScript files. So in order to do this course, you need to have these two tools installed in your machine. I will leave the links for download them in the description of this video. So let's get started. So first of all, we need to know what is a variable. So basically a variable is, we can think about a box with a label on that. Basically, we can add a name to a box, for example, age, and inside of that box we can store some kind of information, for example a number, for example my age 22 years old. Basically these is the variables on JavaScript. We have three different ways to declare them. We can use let, const or var. Basically the difference between them is that let will allow you to change and reassign the value of determined variable. For example, we can create a counter variable which will receive the value 0, and we can reassign here another value for this variable, for example 10. The let type allows us to do this. Now, talking about const. Const, it means constant, so it's a variable that doesn't change, is immutable. So we declare it once and it will not change all over the program. For example, I can create a const called first name, which will receive, for example, my name, and I cannot change these const. For example, I cannot change the first name from Vinicius to another thing, for example, Carla. The const type doesn't allow me to do that. If we run these here, to run a script, we can just type node and then the JavaScript naming convention of the name of the file. So in this case is lecture01 variables.js, and press enter in the terminal. Just to open the terminal you can press Command J, or in Windows Ctrl J, and if you press enter you will see an error because assignment to constant variable, I'm trying to reassign a variable to this constant, so it brings me an error. And the last variable way to declare is var. Var is an old way to declare variables before the ECMAScript version 6. So this is a legacy way to declare variables, but follows the same convention of the variable type, name, and the equals means that you are going to assign a value to this variable here. So we can add this as Carla, and that's fine, but var is an old way to declare, so we shouldn't do this in this way. We always have to use let for these mutable values and const for constant values. Now, talking about the different data types that we have in JavaScript. JavaScript is a dynamic typed language, so it means that the language itself can interpret what is the type of the variable. But we have a few different types, which are strings, numbers. We also have the BigInts used to store very large or very small numbers, the booleans, which will store true or false, and we also have the null and undefined values. So let's start with the string. The string, you can think on it like a text, like a message. For example, I can declare here a message saying hello world. And always when we are declaring a variable, we should and we must use single quotes or double quotes. This means that the value inside of them, enclosed by these quotes, is a string. For the number, we have two different types of number. We have the integers and also the float numbers. So we can declare here, for example, a variable called a constant called age, which will receive the value of 20. So this is an integer value. For the float, a float we can declare like p, and we use the dot to say that this is like a real number. And also the boolean, we can say like is true, and we can define it as true, or we can also use false, all in lowercase. Now, regarding to null and undefined, these maybe can cause some confusion, but a good way to think about is imagine that you have a lunchbox and you forgot to put something inside of it. So your value will be null. But if you forgot the lunchbox at home, you will have an undefined value. So this is the difference. Null, it doesn't have anything, and undefined is like it doesn't exist. And we also have an operator in JavaScript called typeof, and you can use it to check what is the variable type. In JavaScript, to log something in the console, in the terminal, we can use the statement console.log parentheses, and inside we can place the variable name. For example, if we add here message and save this file, we can go here in the terminal and run it again. So we can execute again, and it will show the content of the variable message. Oh, it doesn't do. Shit. Oh, it's because the first name here is assigned to Carl. To remove that and save and run again, and as you can see, it printed the hello world. And basically the typeof will be used to see what is the type of a variable. If you don't know, for example, you type of space and the variable name, and it will show you what is the variable type. We can execute here again. As you can see, showed string. And if we change here to, for example, p, it will show us the number. And basically this is the main use of typeof, and those are the different types of variables and data types that we have in JavaScript. We also have the BigInt, but it's not common to use that, but we can see here like in small projects. But if you need to store a large number, you will use this type. For example, large number, we can say that declare it's a BigInt and say that this value is like this. save, and we can type here, for example, the large number, and save. And if we run here in the terminal again, we will see the BigInt type. Basically, this is the main types that we have in JavaScript. And another important concept and a good practice and a good feature that we had in the latest versions of JavaScript is the use of template literals. So you basically put these symbols here, and inside of it you can add a string. For example, my age is, and to show the variable you can just add a $sign and open and close brackets and place here inside the variable name, for example, age. So this means that this part here will be replaced by the content of age. We can save this and run it again. And as you can see, it replaced this command by the actual age content. So basically this is the main concepts about JavaScript and the variable types, and we covered these fundamentals. So in our next section we will explore more about different types of operator and expressions. So I will also leave a document containing like a small resume about these concepts here, and you can check on the description. And I will also leave an exercise so you can practice these different types of variables, and we will cover that in the next video. So thank you for watching, and see you.